this time. Says we went live.
We shall
I'm waiting. Yeah, I ain't even gonna do intros and shit because I don't know if it's gonna work or not.
I can't even find your new video.
Well, yeah, I'll put it in the internal. It don't look like it's gonna start again.
I don't even see it. Might have to get crazy and do the fun fisher.
I don't think that'd work either.
Why is this like this right now, TR? Hey, the one we just did. Oh, sorry. The one we just did said streamed 8 hours ago.
Yeah, there's something weird.
Yeah, the chats are just YouTube's doing some changes or something. Because, like I said, I tried to watch David's chat and his went off air too. He couldn't do his on YouTube.
I don't even see it.
Wait a minute.
I
think it's actually starting. Yep, there it is.
Where the hell is it?
Here it is. I think it's wheeling. Here it goes. There we go. Here's Rick's handsome face. There we go.
Bam. Hey, the one we just did.
All right, bear with us, everybody.
There we go.
It's choppy as hell is what I see, so I don't know how it's going to work.
I get some of the stuff shrunken up.
Can everybody see it?
Yeah.
It's just okay. Is it just mine or
Now I'm in a this happened to me last night, TR, and it took about 15 minutes for that live stream to stop buffering and go smooth.
Wow.
So I would just I don't know, maybe just push through it, and like last night everybody's kind of yelling, "Oh, you're buffering," and then it kind of cleared itself after 5 or 10 minutes. So
yeah.
You're rolling again, so looks better now.
Maybe to get caught up. Yeah, it's way behind. I know that.
It's live but stalls.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's push on shit.
It looks
All right. Okay. There's a big delay out there. Sorry, GoobTube's really screwing up tonight. And
GoobTube.
Hopefully it'll catch up and start streaming okay. It was buffering for me. It finally started. It's way behind what we're actually. It might be a minute behind, but it's trying anyway. So I was about ready to give up, but we tried one more time. So thanks everybody for coming out. Look like we got a pretty good crowd out there for sure. Thanks everybody. That's all I can say is having to do these restarts and for y'all to come back and find us. That's great. That's awesome. I appreciate it. We're about 30 minutes late because of it, but I tried. That's all I can say. I tried. So anyway, I'm going to let my guest do an intro, and I'm going to start with you, Rick. Is your 6 covered? Would you like to do an intro?
Sure. Thanks again, everybody out there in the external. Of course, without you guys, it wouldn't be any fun. Hey, Rosie. Hey, TR. Appreciate it, TR, for the invite. You guys, if type in 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can see what the time lag is. So when we get to like questions and answers or whatever the case is, we'll know. I think that'll help us out. Should shorten up, hopefully. But yeah, check out Is Your 6 Covered. I'm doing, guns, gear stuff, but also doing What Would You Do series. and it's pretty cool. Got a lot of interest in it. So I'm on my 7th one, working on my 8th, and it's basically a questions kind of deal. You get a chance to answer, and then I'm going to do a second video with just answers. So come take a look. But most of you guys out there look familiar, so appreciate you showing up. Thanks.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Rosie, would you like to do an intro?
Sure. Rosie O'Kelly channel. Rosie Murphy channel is the one I do the weekly and bi-weekly eco investment updates, or when warranted. But on the Rosie O'Kelly channel, I was in San Diego last week, and I'm putting up the putting a playlist together now as we go. I have about 7 videos up. It'll probably come out about 25 videos, about 100 gigabits of video coming up. So y'all may enjoy our trip to San Diego. But good to see you, Rick, safe and sound. And TR, I always appreciate being on your Tuesday night chat with your great side chat.
Yep, I have a lot of people enjoy these chats, and that's awesome. I guess we're doing something right. So we're definitely going to keep trying to do them. People love it. People, I enjoy it. I hope they enjoy it. Evidently they do. They come and come back, you know, so that's awesome. And for the people that was asking earlier, I had an awesome time at my 30-year high school reunion. Ended up, I told some of them out there, I was like, ended up, the hottest chick, in my opinion, when I went to high school was this girl. And she was like going through, now this is the 80s, okay? I graduated in 86. So Madonna was big, and she dressed up like Madonna. She looked just like Madonna. She was just badass, you know, and she was like the artsy, I mean, we're talking Travis Rest. This is redneck country, you know what I mean? And anyway, so here was this wild child, and which I knew her. I talked to her, and you know, I mean, it wasn't like I never talked to her or anything like that, but I did talk to her and stuff. And anyway, I hadn't seen her since we graduated. To this other girl's house after it ended at 10. Went back into this other girl's house. So I'll just call her Madonna. Madonna and her friend. She's not gay or bi, but she had a friend with her, a girl. Not that it matters, of course, but anyway. So I was there with 4 girls drinking liquor and talking politics, believe it or not, talking politics. And then we got to playing music. I had a blast. I had a great time. It was awesome. So anyway, that was my Sunday night.
Hey, they're just answering 1, 2, 3, 4 right now.
Yeah, wow. It's about 2 minutes. Actually.
That's what, 4 minutes maybe?
Yeah. So,
damn.
The interaction is going to be a little hard, but we'll try.
Yeah. They're going to be laughing about something. We're going to be talking about sad and be like, what the hell? You guys are sick.
So anyway, hey, Rosie, I know you've been doing a lot of traveling. We'll break this up from the norm, and since we're kind of way off from the comment section and stuff, it looks like your traveling's been doing great.
Yeah, it's doing good. I managed to keep up with things on the road. Talk about going to a reunion. You can imagine when I've showed up at some of my reunions, it's a little different than the day that I graduated. So nothing like a little bit of a topic of conversation, but I'm always happy to be here. I did keep up with what was going on economically because I'm fascinated by some of the big mega mergers that are being proposed now. And of course, Time Warner, we know Time Warner has Time Magazine, Warner Brothers Studios. I mean, they're a major producer of content, less and less print content, but more and more movie and television content. And I think Fox took a run at them. Rupert Murdoch took a run at them about 7 or 8 months ago, and they got pretty quickly rebuffed by the government. Now, AT&T's making a run at Time Warner, and it's fascinating to me that we reached the point where you grow by absorbing companies, and this was one of the hallmarks of the 1920s, especially the late 1920s, when it became difficult. We think of the Roaring '20s as this time period that it was really, things were really booming. The recession of 1920-21 was over after World War I, and things were pretty darn good up until about 1927 or 1928, but then the stock bubble kept going. But one of the fascinating things was business was already starting to slow down, and industry, long before the stock market crashed. If you look at things like railroad car loading figures for the 1928, 1929 auto sales, there were, they pushed the consumer just about as much in debt as you could get with automobiles. Radio was the big thing in the 1920s. But it's fascinating to me that one of the hallmarks of that period was big consolidations, because it was so hard to grow profitability in that particular market unless you were in radio or one of the up-and-coming industries. It's fascinating to see kind of the parallels today, that it's difficult to grow our revenue. So companies are really starting to push out into places that they didn't traditionally grow. And there's a lot of risk to this. AT&T is a big company, but AT&T's, it's having a difficult time keeping up with its cell phone growth. There's a lot of competition with T-Mobile and Sprint and the other big carriers. So it's almost like they've stuck a fork in the cell business instead of their telephone business. There's really nothing else there. They're trying to get into the content side where they believe the real money is made. But if you look at the consolidated debt that these two companies would have if they got put together, it's almost $200 billion of debt that they would have as a combined entity. And you do the math and trying to do debt service on $200 billion of debt, even at a 5%, which would probably you're still talking about $10 billion just to service debt on that enterprise. And there's no guarantee that, the landscape shifts so quickly that people are talking about not needing cable in the future, that everything's broadcast over high frequency Wi-Fi. You don't need to be cable hooked up. So there's a lot of risk growing out there, and companies are starting to do some rather strange things to try to grow. So that's one of the things that I've noticed. Now, things like Netflix, companies like that, they reported gangbuster earnings. I mean, the entertainment side is still going good in terms of rental and distribution. Studios are always kind of hit or miss depending on their portfolios of movies. But it's interesting to see companies like 3M, Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing, which has been 3M company's been one of the real quiet blue chips for 50, 60 years out there. And it's interesting to see that they're kind of hurting for revenue growth, and the industrials are really being knocked around a bit in the market here. So I'm seeing a lot of signals similar to the 1920s that fluffy things continue to do well, but parts of the economy that are producing things seem to be under a little bit of stress at this point. Interest rates remain the same. The dollar's still a little bit bouncy in here. Everybody's still watching what's going on in England with the UK. And I don't know if you saw that article, but there was one of the ministers in Belgium or something, one of the regional ministers in Belgium voted no on a deal with England. England has to carve out all of these trading deals with all this European Union that they used to be a part of. And the hardest part is now that the ones that are left in the European Union, the Germanys, the Frances, the Italys, they're saying, hey, we're not going to give you the good parts of the union, because you walked away from immigration and open borders and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to see if England's going to be able to carve itself out a decent niche going forward, and see if it'll be successful in trying to make a go of it. And of course, the currency's been under great pressure. If you're going to go to the UK on a trip, it's a great time to go and visit. Now your dollar goes along. long way. So we're holding pretty steady on that. The metals have been holding steady. We're in this big holding period now, waiting for this election. I think it's 2 weeks from today that we'll actually start seeing, well, we'll probably have a lot of results by that time. So we'll see what's going on with the election. But I think right now the Fed doesn't want to do anything. Nobody wants to do anything. Congress is running for their lives. The House of Representatives and what is it, 1/3 of the Senate or something. They're busy trying to get their own selves back. And so it's going to be interesting to see. The October employment report will be coming out in early November. It'll be interesting to see. The last one was pretty chilly. Was pretty weak for September. So it'd be interesting to see what October says. Now, one of the things TR and Rick that I've talked about for a year is the number of now hiring places that you see. And I don't know if you guys see them. I see them everywhere from Home Depot to, I was in San Diego and virtually every restaurant was had now hiring. And it just seemed like you couldn't even make a corner without a store or a business hiring. And I think it's just kind of interesting to think that we don't have the core of young people able or willing to work these days to fill a lot of these jobs. And I think we've run through a lot of our retired core at this time that they used to readily take those kind of jobs. So it's going to be interesting to see if labor shortages can do anything to slow an economy down. The assumption always was there, of course, that you could infinitely add labor with no problem at all. But for the first time in my lifetime, that seems to be an issue here. To see if we have some difficulties in business for not being able to add employees when wanted. Now they're talking about buffering on the side chat over there. So hopefully it'll all come through. It'll just be, yeah. So I don't know what to tell you on that, but that's kind of a little bit of a sketch update of what's going on right now. So I don't anticipate much change until after the election. I did mention Camping World a couple weeks ago. That came public. There's a lot of preppers out there. There's a lot of people that buy a lot of gear and stuff. There's a lot of people in the RV community that, get RV servicing and supplies there. And it's really the only national RV chain. And I think it's an interesting offering coming out that Wall Street doesn't really fully understand at this point. But if you're in the RV side, you see some of the benefits of having a nationwide RV company. So you may want to take a look at that, check your own advisor and stuff. But the symbol for that is CWH, Camping World Holdings. It trades on the New York Stock Exchange. So it's already up a little bit. So might be something you guys are interested in the prepper side there.
Yeah, I've seen some, a little bit off topic here. I've seen some people it's working for them out there and some it's not. I've seen people say clear your cache, restart the browser. I don't know what to tell you. I can't cut the bandwidth down for the chat. It is what it is. I have no control over that. So,
Yeah, the same thing happened to me last night on my chat, and it took about 15 minutes for it to clear before it started to work properly. I don't know. It's got something to do with YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot of people bailing out right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And I don't blame you if you're bailing out because it's buffering so bad. I know it's aggravating to try to watch. So, hey, it's cool. It's all good. We'll probably trudge along about another 30 minutes. And if it don't clear up by then, I'll probably just go ahead and end this. Because I don't want it to be a pain in the ass for y'all to try to watch. I don't want you to, people just sit there for an hour or two waiting on it to clear up and it never clears up, So.
And we had great information we were going to talk about tonight too. Once the buffering stopped.
Yeah.
Right, TR?
That's it.
Let's see how long it's taking again.
Yeah.
Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 again, guys. Let's see. Type it in the comments. 7:09 right now. Let me write it down because I'll forget.
It's 10:09 on the East Coast. So.
Oh, yeah. 7:09 Pacific time.
And
Pacific Daylight Savings Time.
Anthony Bourdain staring at me. Here you go, Dirt Road.
He's probably got Bourdain's money too.
Bonus.
Linda. All right, while we're waiting on that, I'm going to do a rundown. Something I don't do a lot. Let me go and do a rundown to show my appreciation for everybody. I do appreciate y'all coming over here. Hell, I had like 47 people earlier.
I saw 50.
Yeah, maybe. All right, we got C-Max Arms, Bizza Rizza Gizza, Linda Francine, Blue 823, J. Greg Campbell, Tool Monkey, which I know him, Big Johnson Guns and Gear, Fuzz T Fork 8, Dirt Road, Brian McCown, Chris Do-It-Yourselfer, the 806 Travelers, Frank L, Hidden Moose. I don't know how to say that word. Numismatic. I get some shit like that. Sorry, dude. I mean, I like you. I just don't know how to pronounce that. V-Borg 001. Let's see. Niberian Origin. I mean, I know who that is. That's the guy I work with. Mindy Patriot Angel. The Reigning Hick. Let's see if anybody new. Gerald B. The Genius Prepper. Sandy's Passions. I don't know that. Big Johnson Guns and Gear. Southern Style 357. Pop's Quest. And the Reigning Hick. Survival tried. His patience ran out, and hey, I don't blame you. I know Katota Boy, AZ Patriot. Where's it at? There's a Yankee 4, Buck Run 11, Tom Olafsson. I'm not sure how to say your name, Tom. Appreciate you coming by. Need to figure out how to get you on here.
He was on the blue.
Yeah, some guy in Sandy. Where's it at? Cadota Boy 32 was on here. I seen that. I don't know. I had to look at the name to say it right.
Coda Boy.
Yeah. Coda Boy. Okay. Yeah. He was on here. There it is. Coda Boy 32 Tactical Firearms Review. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Martha Canary was here earlier. I'm not sure.
She's here.
Okay.
C-Max.
All right. I think that's most of it. Did they start putting in the 1, 2, 3 yet?
Nope.
Wow.
I know, and it's been 4 minutes now.
4 minutes.
That's crazy. Never seen it like this. Worse is like 30 seconds.
Yeah, like I say, I'm probably going to end this thing in about 15 minutes because people are having an aggravating time out there. They're so far off of what we're talking about that this just ain't fucking working.
And I hate that wheel of death thing. When it's not working, you're like, this piece of shit. You just want to throw it out the window. You just want to. Coda's going to bed.
Yeah.
Of course, he probably went to bed 4 minutes ago, but
yeah. But that's probably live. Well, no, it ain't, is it? No.
Well, yeah, no,
Yeah, it is
yeah,
live.
it's live, but they're still hearing what happened 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, what's out there is live. What they're seeing us talk about's 5 or 10 minutes late.
Yeah. God. 7:14 right now.
All right, well, let me give you some woman advice out there since this chat's just gone to shit and ain't worth a damn. This is my theory. Because I said something earlier about, hooking up with the girls and went back and had some drinks and sat around and talked for a few hours this is my theory for single guys out there. This is what works for me. If you're going to be single and go out and hang out, it's best to have a lot of female friends. I would rather be in the friend zone with 5 women and go hang out with them than go sit at a bar stool by myself. I have more luck. You'll have more luck picking up women if you're surrounded by women already. If you're sitting on that bar stool by yourself, that's a hard road. You go to a bar with 4 or 5 women or 2 women, whatever, much more success. I'm just saying. That's just the way I roll. Okay. Does that make sense to anybody?
I'm just trying to figure out why you didn't tell me this like 19 years ago.
Well, it's been a damn hard, long road that I've figured this shit out.
The school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
7:09. 7:16.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 7 minutes.
That's why I say there's another one bailing out. I don't blame them.
Well, you're back up to 37. A lot of people went back. You were down to 10 and back up to. Yeah. You're at 37 right now. Maybe it's starting to work. Maybe they need to hit the live button again. Like get off of it and then jump back to live again.
Just for curiosity, let me hit the live button. No, it's far back.
Rosie's doing her intro.
Yeah, if I hit the live button, boom, it starts buffering every few seconds.
Like 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it ain't working worth a damn.
Linda says it's not your fault.
Yeah, I know.
It does kind of suck, though. When you have such an important, like, people plan shit around this because it's like The Walking Dead. Like, The Walking Dead. Did you guys watch the first one of season 7? I was like, holy shit, I'd never seen something like that. I was like, damn.
I've never watched one episode, period.
I have.
I watched season 1.
Season 1, you were done?
Well, yeah, I'm not much of a TV.
Yeah, I watch it like via, not on the, where you can go back, Netflix and stuff. Not Netflix, though. You got to, like, find a pack through internet. I got Buckrin, I'll bet, Rick.
Wow, Rotter, that's too bad. Wow.
Damn. Gerald B says you had to go to the settings and lower the quality down for it to stop buffering. Man, maybe just a lot of people are online tonight because of something. Maybe something's live.
I think there'd be less because of the World Series is game 1 tonight.
Oh, really? Yeah. That could have something to do with it.
Unless everybody's streaming it through their internet.
I think YouTube's just doing some changes. That's my guess because they seem to do changes every few weeks and it screws up stuff. And I couldn't tell you what they're doing, but tomorrow you may log on and